Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
The money line. We are live for UFC Vegas 54. Blachowicz versus Rakic. I'm here with my guy, Mike Finch. What's up, my brother?
Doing well. We're over here in Huntington Beach, California, just enjoying ourselves. Man, it is good to be back in action, back on the grind with you, AJ. We had such fun fights last week. Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje was nuts. Did we not call it exactly like it went down? We got to pat ourselves on the back for that one, AJ.
Perfect picks, bro. Perfect picks. We had it pretty much exactly how it went is what we said. And it's pretty sweet to see that fight unfolding just like that. Oliveira looks so good. And Justin Gaethje, he hits hard. But let's be real, man. That's really all he does at this point. He's not going to go follow up with Oliveira on the floor. And his defense, I don't want to say it's trash, but like outside of him looking for the knockout and landing bombs, he's way off position, and he got rocked bad by Oliveira, put down, and on the floor, it was white belt versus black belt. It's not competitive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like we said, the biggest mismatch in that fight was when it hit the floor, and Justin Gaethje knew it. And we got a big tell when Justin Gaethje fought Tony Ferguson, because he didn't follow Tony to the floor either. That I knew that's what he would do in this fight. Sure enough, even though Justin lands, he can't do anything with it because he doesn't have the skill set on the ground. What do? You let Charles back up, and Charles is too goddamn dangerous, AJ. Charles just walked forward. You saw Justin Gaethje throwing his loop and shit, and what did he do? He squared up with Charles. Charles punched him right in the face, and that's all Charles needed was one moment, because as soon as that fight hit the mat, Charles wrapped that rear naked choke up like Santa Claus wrapping a gift, and it was over. 3-minute fight, and Charles got him out of there. It was a mismatch to begin with. We got you guys on that one. Had to give ourselves the pat on the back there, because what a fun night of fights. Like you said, greatest KO you've ever seen with Michael Chandler knocking out Tony Ferguson.
It was up there. It was up there as far as emphatic moment too. Just like you never saw it coming, and then next thing you know, Tony's out front kick, fight over. It was shocking. Overall, the co-main turned out to be the worst fight of the night. The snooze fest between Esparza and Rose. That was unfortunate because I thought Rose had a good chance in that fight. Majority of people really liked her. And then she kind of just laid an egg in there. Didn't really attack.
You saw all the opportunities. Like as Rose was moving around her, it didn't look like Carla was on her level with the striking, but it was like, Rose, what did you do to her? You know, you heard Rose at the post-fight press conference saying, what did she do to deserve to be champion? It's like, you got to flip that question on its head and ask, what did you do to affect Carla Esparza in that fight? And it was damn near nothing. Obviously, the elephant in the room is that they thought that they couldn't kick. You know, you hear Pat Barry on, MMA Fighting talking to Ariel Helwani, like, we knew not to do this certain thing. Just say it out loud. Kick. Rose wasn't kicking because she felt like her kicks would be caught for takedowns. And what ended up happening was, because she didn't kick and she only wanted to move her feet and box, she couldn't win the fight just doing that. Rose is a kickboxer. She's not a boxer. She needs those kicks, regardless if you think they're going to get attacked or not. Then kick to the calf, kick to the head. But to completely just box and move, it didn't end up working out, man. They need to throw full combinations on Carla Esparza. I think it was just a strategic mistake. I think the better fighter lost.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the better fighter lost too. I don't feel like, wow, Carla Esparza champ. No, I'm like, Jessica Andrade is going to maul her. I think that Weili Zhang or Joanna and Jacek both beat her as well.
You heard Joanna chomping at the bit.
She's ready
already. That shit.
Dude, she loved it. Come on. That's the fight. That's the fight. If she wins her next one, that's right there. Andrade is there. The women's division right now is so open. There's a lot of interesting fights. Rose Namajunas, I will call this. She fights for the title again, for sure.
All right, back to the comments. DC, thanks, Mike, for that Vergara by split decision
Let's
call.
go.
You're welcome very much. We got it right, ladies and gentlemen. Keep riding with you guys. I appreciate that. 2 up there, Mike and AJ. Quick MVP prediction. We will at the end.
We'll throw it up at the end for you guys. Stick around. Stick around. We got it at the end. And I also have to shout myself out. I do got a Bellator breakdown also. So if you guys are interested in the Bellator, the main card, weigh-in recap, check it out. It is the most recent video dropped on the channel aside from this one. Let's fucking go. We're going to get into this fight in just a moment, guys. If you're just tuning in, make sure to smash the like button for us. And if you're new, subscribe, show love to the money line. Mike, we're 21 episodes in. How do you feel? We've been at this for a while now, bro.
I mean, we're getting in the flow, AJ.
Yes,
I feel
sir.
like this is still a baby, right?
We are.
And the baby's just learning to get off of its hand and start walking. We got a long way to go with this, guys. Pretty soon we're going to be live at these UFC events right next to the ESPN booth. So stick around. Double down. Moneyline's not going anywhere.
Let's go, champ. Let's go. Let's start it off, though, with fight number 1. Nick Maximov versus Andrei Petroski. What are your thoughts on this fight, Mike? I want you to give us the Mike Finch breakdown to start off the show today. I want to hear what you got.
The question to me in this fight is not, is Petroski a better wrestler? I think that's a given. I think Petroski will be able to take Maximov down and stop takedowns at will. So now my question is, what does that earn him? Is Petroski the better striker? I'm not a huge fan of the striking. I think there's a lot of work to be done there. Doesn't look like he has the best team around him to help him with the striking. Looks a little vulnerable there for me. Okay, so let's say he's not having great success striking. What if he uses his wrestling to take Maximov down? Well, now you're on top of the Pan Am competitor in jiu-jitsu. You're on top of a real high-level guy on the ground. I just don't like this fight for Petroski, although I will say the first glance I took at this, I was like, oh, Petroski might just dominate the wrestling in that fight and win a decision. The more I dig into it, I'm going to go ahead and take Maximov. But guys, be careful because Petroski is significantly stronger, significantly better at wrestling. Division I, I believe All-American wrestler, definitely placed in many very important tournaments, very high-level wrestling, and there's nothing to scoff at there. Be careful betting against Petroski in this fight. That being said, I'm going to double down on the favorite. I'm going to go Maximov.
Yeah, I'm with you on Maximov, bro. I feel like the pressure of just constant attack is going to be his lead to victory. Even if Petroski can take him down, I see Maximov throwing sub attempts from the bottom. I feel like Maximov's going to be shooting a lot, and Petroski might defend majority of the attacks, at least starting off. And then as the fight wears on, what do we see from Petroski? A bit of fading. Right? He's pretty muscle bound. And I feel like with Maximov being a guy that just pushes a constant pace, like even against Punale Soriano, it's not like Maximov is one of those Habib wrestlers where he can take you down at will and just control. It's more, he's going to keep shooting, keep like an annoying wrestler. Like he just going to keep coming at you. You can't get this guy to stop. That's Maximov's game, is constant attack. I feel like that pace is a good way to beat Petroski, but let's look at Petroski. He hits pretty hard. If he touches you on the dome, he could do damage. But technically, as far as his boxing, right, all he's got is these wide hooks, though, right? What is he? When does he really throw straight combos? Not a ton. Doesn't have like incredible head movement. Isn't throwing a lot of high-level feints. I see more pressure, heavy-handed power punching from Petroski. Good wrestling, Maximov. I think the better guy with the jiu-jitsu for sure. I think the better gas tank, definitely. Striking, Maximov is a big if, though, because we haven't really seen him stand only.
Agreed.
I still think
tough fight.
Training with the Diaz guys, though, you got to say his boxing's okay. And I mean, I remember in that Soriano fight, he timed like his straights and then would do a level change fairly well. Maybe he gets Petroski swinging and then he goes and actually gets Petroski down off like a good time on the takedown. I think Maximov for the win. How do I like it? I'm thinking we're going longer. And I'm thinking submission, though. I do think that Petroski's going to gas out. So I'm going to go Maximov by sub here.
Possible.
But I could see the decision side too, though.
I think Petroski's a tough test for him. I think this is going to be a close fight. My money staying in my wallet. I would not be surprised to see Petroski pull this thing out. Maximov decision. I think Maximov will at least threaten with submissions to get him on top in this fight, and that's all he really needs. If Maximov gets on top of this fight, he's going to win it. If Petroski's in the top position, though, I'll be interested. What can Maximov do off of his back? Can he attack? Can he get back up? And, like I said, if Petroski's striking was better, we'd be looking at a different fight. I'm not convinced he's going to win the striking battle. Tough one to call for me, AJ. I got to say, I'm staying away from betting on this one, brother.
It's really not a good bet on Maximov either. He's a minus 330 favorite, and then Petroski, the plus 310 dog. I mean, if you're on the live dog side, but note the risks of betting Petroski, fades a bit. He's inferior in the jiu-jitsu department and isn't a super technical striker. I feel like we look at the props. You like Maximov by decision, so I'm going to read that off. It's plus 135. Maximov by sub line is plus 350, but it's not a sure thing. Over a round and a half, minus 265. That's like an extreme confident. I feel like out of all of them, I feel like we're probably going at least a round and a half. Over 2.5 is minus 160 also. But weird betting spot. Maybe more one you sit out on. Maybe you play Maximov in like a wide shot parlay. You want to add in like a big like wide pick that should come through, but it's danger zone for sure with that line. It's not like you want to money line it up, which we're all about the money lines here. So it's not the one for us, bro.
There are better money line bets on this card. We'll show you in a second.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. Mike, we are on the same side to start things off. Let's get to the next fight of the night. Tatsuro Taira versus Carlos Candelario was originally booked, I believe, 2 weeks back. I'm excited, Mike. I think Tatsuro is a real Japanese prospect to keep your eye on. He looks really good. He looks really good. But let's be real. The biggest concern is this regional circuit level, right, in Japan. Candelario, at least we can note, he fought in the Contender Series, and he lost a split decision against a guy who's now in the UFC. I still feel like Tatsuro should be the better guy of the two. I think he's the slicker striker. I think his submission game is better. Even pure wrestling, I have a hard time seeing Candelario more than just like a couple takedowns and then Tatsuro maybe even reversing position or scrambling right back up. And Candelario gets hit a fair amount too. He's kind of right in your face a bit with the boxing. I don't know. What do you think of the game? You think Candelario's got a live shot here?
Not really. I mean, Candelario definitely, I think that it's a much tougher to go through the American circuit, than it is this Japanese circuit. And all respect to them. I love seeing MMA boom in Asia. That's phenomenal. I love
the
seeing
home, baby. That's the home. Pride FC.
Absolutely. But we got to be honest, about the level of competition, and we haven't really seen it overseas as high of a level anyway, as far as like your first 10 fights, the lower levels. But Tatsuro is 10-0. He is definitely a finisher, man. When I see him do his like stalking Muay Thai, is so accurate, so clean on the ground. He gets to the back like that. He is like a magnet to the back. He's a human backpack. Anywhere you go, he's following your shoulder blades. So I'm a big fan. I think this is a total mismatch. I think for sure we're getting a submission finish. And, I just feel like it's going to be an awesome debut. Now, the biggest question mark for me in this one is, how does he look in his UFC debut? Tatsuro is taking a huge step up as far as the spotlight goes. How does that affect him? From what I've seen, he performs under the spotlight, but this spotlight's about to be a lot bigger. And then there's a bald guy sitting cage side named Dana White. For whatever reason, that freaks people out too. So he's got a lot to deal with. How will he perform? First round submission.
First round. I'm going to say second round submission, but I like that confidence, bro. I'm glad that you're pretty high on Tatsuro as well. He's a -2.
So far, he looks real good.
Yeah, I think you're right. Minus 235 for Tatsuro Taira. Carlos Candelario plus 210. Let's look at Tatsuro by submission because it seems like both of us like it. It's plus 225. Fight, you saying it ends in the first. So under 2.5, I'm going to throw to you is plus 100. Under 1.5 is plus 170. But I guess I got to give you Taira wins in round number 1. The line is just plus 300. So it's not that crazy. It doesn't seem like a fantastic spot. I like Taira maybe as a parlay piece, but let's note this. It's scary maybe some of the time. It's beaten me in the past betting a debuting guy right into the UFC, biggest moment of his career.
Good point.
I still feel like Tatsuro should win, though, and I'm confident he gets it done. I'm with you. We're on the same side in this one. I don't think Candelario has a lot for him.
Yeah, and you know what? As Tatsuro works up in the UFC, there will be fights where we're not so damn sure. It's just that at this level, based on the skills that he has, I'd be very surprised to see him have any trouble.
Yeah, I think he should fairly dominantly. Or maybe even extremely dominantly. Yeah, you should handle Candelario.
Grappler boxer. It should fit right into his rangier style and quick ability to get to the back on the ground. Perfect mismatch.
I love too that he's only 22 years of age, bro.
Damn.
He has
That's
a ton of
crazy
time
me.
to grow. Flyweight division, 22, 10-0.
Wow.
Taira might be a future contender. So
Yeah.
let's keep our eye on him. Let's watch him closely here.
I'm going to learn a lot. Watching him in the UFC, seeing how he performs under the bright lights, we'll learn a lot.
Hell yeah, bro. Great agreement to start it off. Let's get to the next one. It's Virna Jandiroba, however you want to pronounce it. I'm saying Jandiroba like DC versus Angela Hill. I like this fight, man. I'm pretty excited for it. Hill's a dog here. I see why in the small cage, right? They're thinking, okay, the pressure grappling of Jandiroba could be a factor, but Angela Hill moves extremely well, super quick with her hands. Her striking game is top of the line. I mean, the Amanda Lemos split decision loss, and we saw Lemos look pretty good early against Jessica. Hill has been in there with a who's who. Jandiroba has not, but Virna Jandiroba might have the style to beat Angela Hill. I've been very flip-floppy here on this one, Mike. I've been torn all week. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I got the terrible record of Angela Hill getting one little W right here. Look, brother, that record is ugly, but it's against all of the other best female fighters in her weight class. And, you know, I think being an underdog here, it's not a terrible bet to take a little stab at Miss Hill. Angela Hill striking is good. Good, man. You know, when I saw her go toe-to-toe with Lemos, I was impressed by both of those ladies. But, you know, specifically, Miss Hill has definitely, been robbed in a few decisions, close fights, and definitely has shown that she's one of the best strikers in the division. Definitely a better striker in this matchup. So I'm looking at it as striking versus grappling. Is Jandiroba going to be able to get to the top position? I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure that she will be. She's not extremely dominant in the clinch. I haven't seen her her wrestling really knock my socks off. So I'm gonna go with Hill. 2 rounds out of the 3. Another nail biter decision, I'm sure, since it's an Angela Hill fight, but she should come out on top in this one. I think the biggest difference is going to be the kickboxing, man. I think Jandiroba is going to spend too much time on the feet, and that's going to get her on the wrong side of the scorecards. With that being said, guys, if you look at this on paper, total mismatch. The records are ridiculous. Look at the quality of opponents. I think Hill's going to take this one.
I think she definitely could, man. I am gonna, lacking with confidence, push towards the Jandiroba side, my friend. We're gonna have to go Irish style, fisticuffs, bro. Yeah, I feel like I want to be on Hill. I was on Angela Hill pre-study, and then I started watching film. I said, damn, my concern is Jandiroba landing trips in the clinch. This is going to be a big tell-all sign, and that's why I'm not backing Jandiroba at all betting side. So if you're going to bet, go with Mike on the Angela Hill side. That is a better side. Even on this week's Best MMA Bets, I said, listen, if you're betting, you're going Hill. You have to play the plus. Jandiroba, I'm going to pick her on a competitive, grimy split decision kind of thing. Like, I think it's an ultra competitive fight. It's going to come down to a few moments. My biggest thing that I said with Angela Hill is she's a phenomenal striker, but she's not a dynamite puncher. Doesn't have a ton of sting. If she hit harder, I think that would really keep Jandiroba off of her. I think she might even have the ability technically to get a finish here. But the problem is if she's touching up Jandiroba, throwing a lot of shots, and then Jandiroba just keeps pressing, how successful will she be on takedown attempts? Hill's pretty good defensively, but we'll find out against the cage. That's kind of a position we've seen we see Claudia Gadelha. I mix those two up sometimes. Claudia landed a nice trip on Angela Hill in their fight a while back. Granted, that was a split decision that could have went Hill's way. I'm going to lean by this much Jandiroba, but it's 51%, 49. So that tells me the betting side is on Angela Hill. But I'll give you the lines too while I'm at it here. As far as the odds, the plus money is on Hill, plus 165. That's pretty good for Angela Hill. Virna is the minus 170 favorite at best value.
Should be even odds.
It's a pick'ems. It's interesting to see the line that wide. What I like is over 2.5 at minus 240. Extremely confident.
Man, I mean, Angela Hill should be motivated to finish this fight. You know, she's been on the wrong end of so many decisions. It's like, you know, I would not be shocked to see her really pull the trigger in this one. I think she's one of the best strikers, and, you know, it's been underrated because of her results, but, you know, she's dangerous on the feet. I think significantly better at kickboxing than Jandiroba, and hopefully that'll come through for the dub for you guys. Another one I'm hesitant to bet on. Another one that's going to be a close fight, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be close, man. Would you agree with me, though, with Hill? Like, if she had dynamite in her hands, her game would be elite level. She has great striking, but it's just she has a hard time keeping the girls off of her. And that's the problem I'm seeing with a chance for Jandiroba. 30-foot octagon, I definitely like the hillside more. 25-foot, it just concerns me of getting pushed against the cage a bit.
Solid point. Solid point. One little savior is that these are smaller women. If you're talking about Steph and Struve fighting Francis Ngannou, they take one step and they're in front of each other in that little cage. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're fighting in a phone booth, right?
Yeah.
Versus with the smaller weight classes, it's still going to be enough to get a little bit of footwork in. It's a factor nonetheless. Yes, you would prefer to fight. If it was Angela Hill's choice, she'd rather fight in the middle of a football field, right? So she can move all over the place. With that being said, because she doesn't have that ridiculous one-punch power that would be very helpful for her, something that'll be good in this fight is circling. Never get caught on that fence. Always circling to the right or the left. Never getting caught standing on the fence. That'll get her the victory here.
I agree with that statement right there. We're going to find out. We're going Jandiroba for me, Angela Hill for Mike. The plus money is on Hill. If you're on the betting side, you might want to jump on Angela Hill. Potentially, Mike likes it, but he don't love the bet either, though. So it's a spotty fight.
True. Yeah, there's some better ones to bet on here.
Let's jump to the next one. This should be fun. It's Michael Johnson versus Allan Patrick. Mike, I want to hear you give us the breakdown first on this one.
These guys haven't fought since 2018. They haven't won a fight. I think that's correct.
I can pull up the exact stats. Let me pull it up.
They haven't won a fight.
It's been a minute.
2018. Okay?
Michael Johnson, his last win came against Artem Lobov 3.5 years ago. So it's a huge win, man. He's beating the greatest. 2018 for Lobov. Allan Patrick has not won a fight since 2018. Also, it's February of 2018, and he lost to Mason Jones, but it was a no contest. But he was on the way to taking a fat loss. He was getting beat up.
Brother, these guys have been out of the win column for a moment. So that's why the matchup actually does make a lot of sense. Here's another one where if we're just going by records, very obviously Patrick is on paper going to win the fight, but that's not what's happening. You got two human beings standing across from each other. You got a 39-year-old Patrick, I believe, and 35-year-old Michael Johnson. So although there are a lot of miles on that Michael Johnson car, if you listen to his recent interviews, Michael Johnson wants to fight for another 5 years. He was just saying that a couple weeks ago. So I think in Michael Johnson's mind, this is the coming back to it party here. I do think Michael Johnson will have a good performance. He's got Henry Hooft in his corner. They've just been picking up some big wins. They just picked up that ridiculous, front kick to the face knockout for Michael Chandler. I think the team is on fire. I think that morale is going to transfer into this fight. I think Michael Johnson will let his hands go a little bit, get the job done on the feet, because AJ, I don't like Patrick's boxing. The more Patrick throws punches with Michael Johnson, the more he will get punched in the face. If Patrick can get to grappling in this fight, he'll have a much better opportunity to win, but that's not necessary. He's not necessarily a wrestler, or that's not necessarily his style. I like it for Michael Johnson, man. I think Michael Johnson's going to get a win here, and it's a damn needed one.
Very needed, bro. And it's crazy that Michael Johnson at one point knocked out Dustin Poirier, beat Tony Ferguson, beat Edson Barboza, and now tough losing streak. Patrick seems like the perfect matchup for Michael Johnson to succeed here. I will note this: Patrick was there with Oliveira, so he was part of that championship squad, because I saw him after the fight taking pics. I'm not going to take that in and say that because that he's going to win the fight. I think Michael Johnson due for a win. His skills are so much better than he's shown for his whole entire career. I remember watching him on The Ultimate Fighter, loses to Jonathan Brookins when I felt like he could have won the fight. He should have probably won that fight. Ends up getting submitted. UFC career has been up, down, up, down, up, down. But one thing Michael Johnson has is extremely crisp boxing. The guy can strike with the best of them on the feet, but mentally something just seems to lapse. Patrick is the guy for Michael Johnson to get a KO win and come back with a vengeance. If he really wants to stick around for 5 more years, I need an impressive knockout on Saturday night. I'm going to call it Michael Johnson by first round KO for me. I'm jumping on it confident, and I think he's going to sleep Allan Patrick. The line of this fight is Michael Johnson favored. It's minus 145 Michael Johnson, Allan Patrick plus 130. If you're looking towards maybe playing Michael Johnson by KO, would you consider it? Plus 285, under 2.5 rounds, plus money, plus 140. The books are thinking this fight goes the distance. Alan Patrick, who is a bit of a chaotic striker. Michael Johnson, who when he's on his game is a finisher. I'm going Michael Johnson knockout, and we're going the under 2.5 here, plus money. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Yeah, I mean, Bobby Green was able to give him a boxing lesson there. That went to a decision. Of course, Scott Holtzman knocked him out with the elbows from Mount. That's right. That was really nasty. Knocked him out and landed another one while he was unconscious. Yeah, we haven't seen him get knocked out on the feet in the UFC, but this might be the time, man. And look, if he doesn't, I think it's going to be Michael Johnson hurting him, and that's why he'll win the rounds.
Like it, bro. I'm in. Michael Johnson for the victory. It would be good to see him bounce back. I need him with a win. I've been following Michael Johnson too long to not see him be a winner, man. Come on, Michael Johnson. I'm rooting for him, bro. 100% here. Let's keep running.
Who gave Khabib, who rocked Khabib worse than Michael Johnson? You know, Justin Gaethje is the only other one. I mean, Michael Johnson, when he shows up, can hurt anybody.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think he's going to hurt Patrick on Saturday night. Both of us on the same side on this one. Let's get to it. The featured prelim of the night. Viviane Araujo versus Andrea KGB Lee. My pick on this one's going to be Araujo. I'll tell you right out the gate. What I like is that she can land takedowns here. I expect her to be able to land takedowns. Araujo is, I believe, a little bit not underrated by the people that know her, but it's not talked about a ton. The grappling, she's pretty good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She's got solid takedowns, was able to take down, I believe, Roxanne Modafferi in their fight. You look at Andrea Lee, questionable at times. I think she has a pretty competent Muay Thai game, for sure. But if Araujo's able to grab a couple takedowns, I see her wearing on Lee from the top. If they strike, I see it as competitive. I'll say this. I think Araujo's a bit more explosive, but Lee does have pretty good straight shots. I really like her front kick up the center. For me, I got to go with the Araujo side by a decision. I don't know about her getting a finish over Lee. Lee's game and is able to sit in there with a lot of the top girls. What do you think about this fight, Mike? Are you kind of feeling like KGB Lee might have a shot in this one?
KGB Lee does have a shot. Yeah. Her striking's good, not great.
Yeah.
You know, she does show maybe a little overextension after she pops a jab, but with that being said, I mean, it's going to be tough for Araujo to get a knockout here. With that being said, she got a ridiculous knockout in her UFC debut, and as you put your finger on, she's more explosive, and I think that might come through here. You know, as far as the grappling department goes, if Lee can get on top, that'll be huge. She did out wrestle Joanne Calderwood. Now Joanne Wood, of course, but Calderwood at the time, and lost the decision. Joanne was able to take her down too. You know, if Araujo is able to get on top, I think that's a huge problem in this fight, because I don't think Lee's going to be able to confidently control the striking. I'm going to double up with you, my brother. I'm going to go Araujo. I'm going to go decision. But you know, interesting fight, and I'm interested to see where it takes place. If they're striking the whole time, I think it's gonna be pretty close and give the power advantage, you know, over to Araujo. And you know, if it's on the ground, I'll be interested to see if anybody can control for any meaningful amount of time, because I think that both of these girls are pretty well matched on the floor too. So good fight. I'll double up with you.
Let's get it. I just think there's a good chance Araujo is able to land the takedowns, which I think can put the momentum in her favor. And then the explosiveness. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for the fight. Araujo's plus money too. She's a dog, plus 102 best value. Andrea Lee minus 113. So Araujo's a little bit of an underdog, but like it's an even money play essentially. Over 2.5 minus 300. I'm very confident that we're seeing over 2.5 in this fight. I'm going to go Araujo to win a decision. As far as the line for that, it's plus 175. I'm not clamoring at the bit to throw down and bet, but if I am throwing on Araujo, I would hit it money line. I don't know if I want to risk it if she happens to have like the greatest performance, gets a finish. It's not impossible. It's a cage fight, but majority of the time, Araujo as of late going distance. Lee as of late going distance. Hard girl to finish too.
Exactly. And Lee's losses are mostly by split decision. Lauren Murphy split decision. Joanne Calderwood split decision. You know, Roxanne Modafferi actually got a decision over her. So, you know, if you get on top of her, you can win.
Facts, man. And Mike Finch, best fucking capper in the UFC, baby. They just signed them. Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you.
go,
I
my brother.
appreciate that.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I saw somebody way up in the chat was saying Bellator Mike, so I appreciate
Bellator Mike.
Yes, Bellator Mike in the
Love it.
building.
Let's
You
go,
found
brother.
it like that. Look at AJ. Look
I'm
at
on point.
AJ.
I'm on point, my brother. I'm on point. I'm glad that we're feeling the same side on a lot of these picks, man. And I like that you picked Hill. I'm actually happy you did because I can see that side 100%, man. Like it's like a spotty Jandiroba side or like a Angela Hill good play. The prelims look pretty solid for this card. I'm excited. I feel like we're going to get some entertaining fights this weekend, man.
Yeah, those were some fun ones. The Michael Johnson's coming back.
Yes.
I mean, you got a couple fun ones in the prelims for sure. Excited for the main card, though. These are my favorites.
Yeah. Let's go. Main card coming up right now. First fight on the main card. Jake Hadley taking on the difficult Testo and Allan Nascimento. Guys, make sure to smash the like button if you haven't. Support us here at the Moneyline. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm live with my guy, Mike Finch. And let's talk the first fight on the main card. Jake Hadley, Nascimento. Nascimento's ground game looks really good from the bottom. Tatsuro Lembekov was on top of him, but he was throwing up continuous submission attempts. Nascimento has kind of been like the split decision loss machine. That's the way he's losing. Split decisions. He's a good fighter. Jake Hadley, Cage Warriors kid, coming over with a bit of hype. I'll be honest, I would say he's got a pretty solid stand-up game. I like what I see with the hands, the kickboxing. He was taken down by Mitch Raposo, but his dexterity on the floor actually impressed me a lot. When they got up, the pressure was continuous, gets a finish in that fight. I don't know about him finishing a guy like Nascimento. I feel like he's got to be here to go the full 3. Nascimento's stand-up hasn't been on display in the UFC yet with like a grappling heavy fight against Taira, but pretty solid Muay Thai. Explosive low kicks, decent pressure. He's got like an upright style. He's a long guy. I have to go Hadley. I think he's got the better boxing of the two. That's a difference maker. He might shoot takedowns and wrestle with Nascimento. I can see them getting into a bit of like a tie. Like they're both this stuck on the ground. Hadley in the full guard. Nascimento throwing up attempts. Hadley with minimal ground and pound. Maybe a bit of peppering shots, but more of the smother. I like the chances of Hadley winning a decision here. Mike, what are you kind of feeling on this side?
I like watching Hadley fight, dude. He brings the heat, man, and he's got something up here where he's got this tenacity about him that you see that confidence, you know, and it's tough to be in the cage with somebody who is almost delusionally confident in themselves.
Delusionally confident. I love it.
And that's something you like to see it with the young up and comers. You know, Hamzat had a little bit of that, and you know, you like to see that with the young guys. Conor McGregor. I mean, you go down the list, right? These guys have an almost borderline delusional self-belief, and that carries them through to beat the shit out of people sometimes. So it's good to have that in the back pocket. With that being said, Nascimento is a big test, especially on the mat. When they're on the ground, he has to watch his arms, keep them off of his back. It's going to be a tough test for Hadley. I do think he passes it. I'm going to go Hadley with a decision. With that being said, Nascimento has a real chance to get the back, get this over with a submission. His last, not 1, not 2, but 3 losses, like you said, all split decisions. That's crazy. That's got to piss him off. He's going to be hunting for that finish. We're going to see if Hadley really is what people say he is, and I think he might just be. I'm going to go Hadley decision.
Let's go. I'm on the same side, bro. I'm glad to hear it. As far as the line, Hadley's a strong favorite. -215 for Jake Hadley. Nascimento +190. Now, I feel like we're going a bit longer here. The over 2.5 sits at -170. Hadley to win a decision would be +135. I feel like Hadley wins. I feel like fight goes distance. For fight going distance, it's -130. That's interesting. That might be the sleeper play of the fight here, right there. -130, fight goes distance. I see that.
Yeah, when Allan Nascimento loses, it's only by decision.
I have a hard time seeing him getting knocked out here too.
Hadley is kind of a finisher, man.
What do you think? I feel like Nascimento is going to be able to, at the very least, survive. And I feel like Hadley does have a bit of pop, though. I got to say, like, I like the boxing, and it's not impossible if he throws some multi-shot combos, digs with a nice lead hook. I could see him hurting Nascimento, especially like those upright Thai guys. Sometimes, even though he's not a Thai fighter, but Muay Thai style, I see like a more smooth kickboxer touching him up in the cage, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's not what we're, I think Hadley's going to be in drive. I think the car is going to be coming forward, and it's going to be up to Nascimento to counter him. I don't think he'll be able to effectively do that. I do think it hits the mat, and that's where I'm kind of biting my nails on this one, AJ. Nascimento is kind of nasty on the ground, and even off of his back, as you guys have seen in the UFC, he throws stuff up. He's not playing around. He's not down there taking a nap. So it's a tough test for Hadley, but we're doubling up on him, man.
Doubling down. Let's go. Hadley for the win. Both of us got him by decision. Not a great money line play, but definitely not a terrible one either. Should get it done. Fight goes distance. What I like more than anything, because it's a live fight, and it could cash, but at minus 200, it's because of the hype coming in with Hadley. This fight to me, it's more like a minus 150 at the most. Like, it shouldn't be that crazy.
It might end up in a parlay.
It might be. It might be a parlay to play. Let's keep running up. Next one, Frank the Crank Camacho takes on the young prospect Manuel Torres. Mike, I'll let you kick this one off. What do you kind of think happens in this one? Especially Camacho coming off a bad loss to Justin James, trying to bounce back.
I mean, how many times has Camacho been coming off of a bad loss, bro? He's had
fought well against Dober. He survived.
Yeah, true. I want to see more than survived, but true. I mean, and he's, well-rounded, but then again, he's available to be hit. He's available on the ground. Like, he's not great at anything. And that's going to be a problem against this tall striker, man. Torres likes to stand real tall, real long, but he's coming forward like the Terminator, man. He's trying to take guys out, and he's got, a decent fight IQ too. Like, for instance, he poked his opponent in the eye last time. Now, I should actually back up. He might not have known that he poked his opponent in the eye. There might have been something there, but his opponent grabs his face. What does Torres do?
Blitz.
Left hook, right hand, fights over, right? He's got that type of killer instinct, and he's not going to be too much of a gentleman like we've seen sometimes with other fighters. He will pull the trigger and go get you your money. So Torres is a winner. I think he's coming out there to kill, man. I think Torres is about to get this knockout.
Oh, shit. Knockout for Torres. I'm going to go on the other side on Frank Camacho. What I like about Camacho,
I didn't expect that. Go ahead.
I'm going. All right. So he's coming in. Have you seen his IG? I've been looking. He definitely has changed his strength, conditioning, and diet. He's looking diced. I feel like he's going to come in the best shape possible. I look at the Justin James fight, and as bad as it looked, a lot of guys kind of didn't know, right? The Justin James puzzle. But when you find it out, he's going to blitz you for the first round, and that's all he has afterwards. He dropped Mobley, Benitez. He hurt Gavin Tucker in their fight. I feel like the loss for Camacho doesn't look as bad as time materializes, just in the way that it played out. I know Justin James is a UFC washout now. Torres, to me, dangerous striker, certainly, is willing to get into a bit of a firefight. Now, I think Camacho might have to mix in some takedown attempts here. Torres, not going to be an easy guy to control on the ground. He's scrambly, and he's going to be moving a lot. He's going to be throwing a ton of shots. I feel like there's a shot for Camacho to win this fight against Torres, due to the fact that I do think Torres is a little wild. When I was watching the stand-up, his boxing, I was looking, is a little chaotic. Granted, Contender Series fight, for a lot of fucking pressure. Granted, regional scene tape, he kind of got in a scramble with a strong journeyman, and the fight was a little bit chaotic and crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So you think Camacho gets it done on the feet?
I think Camacho has to mix in a little bit of grappling, but I could see him finding an opening in the second round. He has to dig to the body a bit. I feel like Torres, a little bit of the upright striking, might be able to get hit. Might be. I'm not like absolute Camacho lock of the week type position here, but I have him for the win. I don't know. When I was looking at Torres, I just got this little rawness to him, which could be pro. I mean, especially Camacho coming off a 40-second loss. That might be a positive.
Torres has 2 losses. They're both by leg locks. So, there is an availability on the mat, and I could see maybe an availability on the mat for Camacho. On the feet, I think Camacho is about to get executed, my brother. I think he's about to get executed, my brother. We're going to see.
We'll see. All right, another note. Mexican fighter Torres should have a pretty strong chin. I hope Camacho digs to the body a lot here against the cage. Really got to wear on Torres a bit. I'm going to go with Camacho. It might be one of those picks that you look back and say, what the fuck was I talking about? But I'm going with him. Now, as far as the line for this one, Camacho sitting at plus 110. So he's not a juicy underdog where it's one that I'm like wanting to attack. It's more of the question mark around, is Torres at the level in the UFC, especially with that inconclusive Contender Series fight, the eye poke and whatnot. Torres minus 120 as the favorite. It's extremely close money. I feel like betting side of this fight could get you into trouble either way, but Mike does like Torres by KO, so I'm going to give you that prop. Torres by KO plus 240, Camacho by KO plus 325. Do we say fight ends inside of the distance here, Mike?
I think that's what Torres is gunning for. I think if Torres ekes out a decision, he's not going to be happy. I think Torres is trying to knock this dude's jaw into the first row.
I like right now under 2.5, value of it sitting at minus 170. I think we're going under 2.5. I think fight ends in the distance. That's minus 250, but I like under 2.5 more at minus 170. Mike, you like Torres. I like Camacho. Overall, exciting fight. I'm ready to see what happens, man. Let's go.
Let's go. I like it. Papa Chuck in the comments over here trying to get us to fight each other.
Dude,
AJ.
me and Mike will never fight
these
each other.
savages.
These guys, listen, man. Mike's got real fights. I would have Mike in my corner if I'm throwing down, my guys. This is my guy.
Me and
right
AJ
here.
are on the same team. That's what you guys
We're
don't
like
know,
Cain
all right?
Velasquez, Daniel Cormier in this bitch, bro.
I don't know about DC, but it's me and AJ versus you guys. All right.
Let's go.
That's the fucking team over here.
Let's go.
I got it on the ground. AJ's done some boxing. We're dangerous. Be careful.
You can't go to the ground with Mike Finch, guys. This guy knows his shit. Don't doubt Mike Finch, man. He's got the nice face, but he's a dangerous man. Don't doubt him. Don't sleep on my guy.
YouTube me. Check me out.
Check me out. Guys, check him out. He's a savage, bro. Mike
plus 1,000. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go. Good fight, though, man.
Hella money on that.
Under, bro, I think under 2.5 is the money play right here. I'm saying it. Under 2.5 minus 170.
I agree with you. I got Torres knockout first or second round.
Let's go. Next fight. I think this one, curious if we're going to have a more clear, close path here, but you might surprise me. Katlyn Chookagian, Amanda Ribas. I'm on the Chookagian side. I like her fighting from distance. She's got decent boxing. She started to really incorporate better wrestling to her game too. But regardless of all that, she's a lot bigger than Ribas, who's choosing to jump up a weight class without, in my opinion, building the frame for it. If you're going to move up to 125 pounds, okay, Andrade, dynamite puncher. But let's look at this. Cynthia Calvillo was pretty good at 115. When she started fighting these bigger girls, she's not doing well. I feel like this fight right here, we might be running into a tough situation where Ribas is going to lose the edge that she'll have in grappling over a lot of the smaller girls. Not going to be able to have, I don't want to say a questionable stand-up game. She's an improving striker. But to me, Chookagian is more dangerous. I like Chookagian for the win. I don't know if I'm going to say win by knockout, but it's not impossible. Jandiroba dropped Ribas. Ribas was stopped by Rodriguez in the one before. But Chookagian is the decisionator, and I'm not going to go against the trend. So I'm going to go Chookagian wins the decision here.
Chookagian is not explosive at all. Like, Chookagian is totally just like pick at you, right? She does it sounds like a tennis match. Ha, 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 ha.
Yes,
sounds like a Holly Holm fight, and she just kind of picks away at you. Look, I think that a lot of you guys are picking Chookagian. I see a lot of you guys saying Chookagian lock of the night, and that's all well and good as long as this fight stays on the feet. The problem for Chookagian is she ended up on bottom against Araujo. Am I saying her name right? Fighting earlier in this card. She got mounted by her. Yep. Like, Chookagian does have some holes in her game on the ground. I know you all remember Valentina Shevchenko crucifixing her and sending her the same way Jesus went. So, you guys got to acknowledge that she has a lot of trouble on her back. And once you acknowledge that, and then you look at her opponent, a decorated jiu-jitsu fighter, a girl who finishes people, a girl who, if she gets to the top position, Amanda Ribas could put a girl away. And with that being said, there's a large risk betting on Chookagian. So I think all you lock of the night Chookagian people, you might prove me wrong, but just know that you're risking it, because if she ends up on her back, there might be some serious problems here. I've been on the fence on this one, and I did listen to your breakdown, AJ, and I totally see what you guys are seeing, where Chookagian can just kind of pick her apart for a decision. And a big thing you brought up is the weight class difference. All those things are definitely weighing on me on this fight. But I'm gonna piss everybody off. I'm gonna say Ribas gets it done by submission.
Oh my God, my guy.
They
Mike,
hate
I'm
me.
glad. I'm
They
glad.
hate me.
Dude, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, bro. Holy shit. Wait, listen, you got some people agreeing, man. Ribas hands down, bro.
Wow, it's my first
I like
ones.
Ribas.
Okay.
Yeah. Caitlin's
I didn't know you guys
here.
were out there. There we go. There's your
some believers.
Chookagian people.
Yeah, no power to manage distance against Ribas, and I feel like would lose a grappling match.
She would.
In its own. Yeah, in straight grappling, Ribas to me has it. The cage.
It's the little cage, guys. Ribas is a couple steps away from getting a hold of her. Ribas, her big issue is getting caught with power punches. Chookagian doesn't have power punches. Chookagian has jabs, crosses, kicks, ha.
Front
Everything
kick
comes out at 30% power. I really think that I really think that the biggest difference in this fight is going to be when it hits the mat, and that'll be Ribas's world. So it really depends on where this fight ends up, guys. I am not surprised to see a Chookagian win. I am not betting on Amanda Ribas. I'm more so letting you know, be careful. Be careful.
Mexicano MMA master wants to make a bet with you, my guy.
I drink out of cups, and they have the hair in them.
Save those for me. Save those for me, the shoes.
Exactly. AJ will do the shoey for me. All right. And you'll all be entertained.
I'll cover Mike Shuey when Chookagian wins on Saturday night.
That's my guy.
That's
why I fuck with AJ. That's my guy.
Let's go. Will I ever cover boxing? I'm not saying never, man. It's just I haven't lately.
Canelo, bro.
That was
Canelo
big.
taking that L.
Listen, Beevil's a savage. Beevil's
a savage. If you guys heard, I had boxing announcer Ray Flores on my podcast. He said Canelo had that vegan diet. I don't know. You guys could check that one out.
Yeah, bro. I feel like that vegan diet may have been a fucking factor. It might have, bro. It might have. I don't know. But Beevil's a big dude. Naturally, Beevil's got the edge. We got to get into the odds, though, for this Chookagian fight first, man. Then we'll jump to Beevil. Let me just throw him out. Chookagian, the -170 favorite. Amanda Ribas, the +160 dog. So Mike Finch on the plus money. Call him Mr. Plus Money Finch over here. As far as the props, over 2.5 is -250. Submission for Ribas, which, Mike, you're on that side. I'm going to throw it out there for you. +765. If you're looking for the Hail Mary, Mike Finch, he's on it. Ribas by sub, +765. Not a bad tag. Chookagian by decision. This is my side. Is not worth the bet, really. It's +120. I would rather consider Chookagian a money line touch, or maybe you're putting her in a parlay. But Mike Finch over here throwing a wrench in it all, man, picking the Ribas side, bro.
You guys were too confident on Chookagian. I had to mess with your heads, Guys, she's coming up a weight class. I honestly, AJ, before today, I wasn't thinking about that. She's coming up a weight class. It might be enough for Chookagian to get the decision. I don't hate it. I'm just saying there's a clear pathway for Ribas to win this fight.
I like it. Bro. I definitely agree with that as well. We say if Ribas wins, it's going to be a finish.
It would either be a submission or she would be dominating from like a mount position. If you go, dig into Ribas's career, she's got nasty arm bars. She's got, a lot of weapons on the ground. And that's why I would be thinking finish. We'll dig back into it a little bit here. Nice armbar over Paige Van Zandt. She's got some rear naked choke wins and whatnot. If Ribas can get on top, though, just 2 out of 3 rounds, win a decision, that's a possible way too. You guys know me, and if you don't, it's money line for me, ladies and gentlemen. Very rare that I do anything but a money line bet.
Ribas, baby. Ribas, your pick, bro. I also got to note this.
Welcome.
This is your guy, bro. Also note this for Chookagian to win by KO, TKO, +450. I know some people are kind of feeling that line with Ribas jumping up in weight. Personally, I'm staying away from the prop side unless I'm going nuts and I'm touching that +765 Hail Mary for Mike Finch's sub there, because you know what, bro? It's not bad. It's not bad.
Deep. Randy Moss.
Swing
it, baby. AJ.
Swing that fucking bat, lad. Let's jump to the featured bout of the night. It is Davey Grant, Luis Smolka. Mike, are you gonna jump out the gate and pick the other side on me here? Mike, give me your take first. I want to hear it. I have to hear it now.
Look, you guys overrate Davey Grant. Davey Grant is, he's got some hooks, and it's kind of cool how he goes body head. That looks awesome. Bop, bop. That's awesome how he does it. That's going to work on B and C level guys. As soon as he gets up to A level, he's going to have a problem. Is Smolka an A level guy? No. So I'm going to pick Davey Grant in this fight, but damn, I'm worried he ends up on his back. How's his jiu-jitsu? I'm worried about Davey Grant's full game. He's more so got a left hook and a right hook, his whole full elbows, knees, kicks game. I think there's a lot of work to be done. I do not think he's ever going to scratch the surface of a title shot. I think you guys like Davey Grant, and so everybody likes to jump on the Davey Grant bandwagon. I will go ahead and say Davey Grant. To be fair, I don't think Louis Smolka's the guy, but anytime you pick Davey Grant, it comes with a concern of a full mixed martial artist taking advantage of the fight. With that being said, I do think Davey Grant's hands are significantly better. That's why he wins this fight.
Yeah, I feel like the boxing's the biggest difference maker. I'm going first round knockout. Smolka too badly put down against Morales. Smolka's up down though. He's up down, up down. He lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose. So it's about time. Maybe this is the one. But to beat Davey Grant, who, you know what? I know though. Look at the matchups. Marlon Vera, tough loss, but striker. Adriano Moraes, wrong name. Now I got to pull up the name. What was the last one for
Morales?
For Davey Grant. What was the last one? It was against Adriano Moraes,
gotcha,
man.
okay.
I'm jumping all the way to fucking one championship with that one. But I
Split
feel like,
too?
yeah, it was a close fight. If Davey Grant can avoid being in vulnerable grappling positions, I see the win. But if he's forced into a grappling match, Louis Smolka does have a tricky submission game, man. I'm with it.
I mean, just be careful with the Davey Grant picks. I do think this is, if Davey Grant's going to win some fights, you'd see him winning on this end of the UFC bracket. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think, like you just said, Louis Smolka goes 1-1. This is where Davey Grant lives, man. I think that betting on Davey Grant all the way up until the belt, eventually Davey Grant's getting exposed,
Yeah.
So man, that was really negative on Davey Grant. Let me say something nice about him. The dude's got some power, and that little combo he throws where he goes right to the body, left to the head, that shit is phenomenal, man. He throws it perfect. He's got 2 KOs like that. Why not 3?
Let's go. KO. Let's go Davey Grant's money line. It's minus 292, so it is wide. Smolka plus 260. Let's look at Grant to win by KO TKO, because that's my pick here. Plus 125. Smolka by submission. The line is upwards of plus 750. So if you are on the Smolka side, you're looking at that sub line. It's juicy. It's wide. But I think Davey Grant gets his hand raised. Under 2.5 is also minus 180. I like Grant. I like win by knockout. I think he's putting Louis Smolka to bed here.
Woo! Let's go.
Let's
I
go.
could see that. I could see that going down. Grant could also just outbox him and get the decision. So, my advice is always money line. But yes, Davey Grant's the better boxer.
Let's go. Let's keep running. Co-main event. We're already at it.
Moving at record speed. Oh, this is a good fight.
Ryan Spann versus Ion Cutelaba. Do we get Superman Spann, or do we get the recent Ryan Spann that we've seen where he gets touched up and he falls? Now, Cutelaba's got a good wrestling game. He's a guy that's gone distance before, but I like the relentless pressure from him. Spann from distance is dangerous. He's got power in his hands for certain. He's pretty explosive. My concern is Cutelaba with overhand strikes, high pressure, getting a takedown on Spann from the top position. I think Cutelaba's ground and pound is pretty ferocious. I mean, the way he was able to beat up Khalil Roundtree was pretty impressive.
Just ferocious.
He's ferocious, man. His whole style is just intensity. He's even as just a human being. I mean, the way he carries him, he's just an intense person. And I feel like that intensity is going to break Ryan Spann in this fight. I think Cutelaba can get the finish in the first 2 rounds here, man. I'm going Cutelaba for the win. You look at the losses for Cutelaba, they don't look that bad. I mean, most recent ones, he's losing to, the upper echelon, the top of the top. Whereas you look, I mean, Ryan Spann, he lost to, an elite guy in Anthony Smith in the last one. But still, man, I don't know. It's not what I want with Ryan Spann. Yes, of course, you look at fights, he's able to quickly beat Misha Surkanov. He hurts Johnny Walker. But Ion Cutelaba is a tricky test nonetheless for him. I'm going to go Cutelaba for the win. I'm going to lean it KO TKO. I'm going to pick first or second. Well, Ryan Spann, if he can be Superman, he's live.
Ryan Spann is impressive, man. When you look at Ryan Spann on point with his striking, freaking dangerous. And he's actually got some good takedowns and some good wrestling. You know, I was digging back into old Ryan Spann fights, and I was actually impressed because I just think of Ryan Spann as more of a striker. Dude's got good takedowns. He could wrestle. He could grapple. You know, he is well rounded. What I see out of Cutelaba is him getting to another level. I don't think this is the same Cutelaba who lost to Glover Teixeira. I don't think this is the same guy who lost to Ankalaev twice. You know, I think that Cutelaba has reinvented himself since moving to Las Vegas, since getting with Extreme Couture and Eric Nixick. I think his wrestling is at a whole other level. And if I'm right about that, then I think Cutelaba does fine on the feet and in the wrestling in this fight, and he should be able to dominate it. And that's a big statement, man. Ryan Spann is one of the most dangerous light heavyweights in the world, but I do think that Cutelaba is showing us that he's on a new level now, and this is really going to be that test. You know, if Anthony Smith can get on top and get the finish over Ryan Spann, then Cutelaba has to show us that he can do the same thing if he wants to challenge for that belt, which is ultimately, I think, his destiny. I've got Cutelaba dominating this fight with his wrestling.
I like it. I like it, man. I think the wrestling's another big X factor. There's takedowns. It's going to be going the Cutelaba side. Spann's chance to win, for me, he has to stun Cutelaba from distance and then follow up, most likely, unless he flash knockout. But I don't see Cutelaba as chinny, man. I like the side of Cutelaba for the W.
I agree. I don't see him as chinny either, but damn, Spann can swat somebody. You know, when you guys get heavyweights or light heavyweights, you have to factor in the power that they possess, and Spann can hit hard, man. Don't bet your house on Cutelaba, but yes, I do think Cutelaba should be able to deal with the striking as long as he just moves that big ass head a little bit. And, you know, he took his shirt off at the press conference. He looks ripped. He looks ready to go. And, you know, as long as he has that wrestling ready to go, I think that'll open up his striking a little bit more, make it a little bit harder for Spann to actually tag him. The worst thing Cutelaba could do is just march forward and try to strike here. As long as Cutelaba is a mixed martial artist, I think the risk of him getting caught goes down quite a bit.
Love it, man. Cutelaba, me and you, same side. As far as the line, -220 Cutelaba, +195 for Superman Spann. Mike, you like the inside of the distance Cutelaba side or the KO/TKO Cutelaba side?
I think that wrestler Cutelaba is more likely to go to the scorecards, man. You know, the wiser he gets and the more he trains with that Extreme Couture team, I think he's going to continually go to that plan B, maybe if it's even plan A now, of getting to the top position. I think we see the end of the third.
Cutelaba decision +750. Cutelaba not even in it, just over 1.5 is +125. So if you like the Cutelaba side going longer here, +750 is great money. If you like Cutelaba, you can't play inside distance at -145. I wouldn't. Cutelaba KO/TKO -125. I don't want to touch it. If you hope and you bite on the nails and wait patiently, maybe we go over a round and a half +125 with Cutelaba mixing in more wrestling. That's what I want to see. So over 1.5 +125 doesn't look like a bad play. I like Cutelaba straight as well if you're looking to attack him hard. And then Mike Finch, if you're looking to snipe out the Hail Mary prop, +750, Cutelaba wins by decision. That's huge, bro. That's huge.
Sounds a little absurd. +750. Yeah. Holy shit. Men, Cutelaba by decision is +850. I don't know what those odds makers are doing. That sounds like a little ridiculous to me.
Yeah, bro. That's
hum in his last fight. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Spann's been finished twice now at the top of the division here. Anthony Smith. What was the other one?
It was
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's crazy though, man. Spann was looking good up until he wasn't, but Johnny Walker is just weird. Johnny Walker's just a weird fight. That's just awkward.
He's throwing his limbs at you crazy. He's available as well. Yeah, he's a wild fighter. It's a wild guy. It's a gunslinger right there.
Gunslinger, bro. Let's jump to the main event of the evening. Jan Blachowicz, Aleksandar Rakic. Guys, if you haven't yet, smash the hell out of the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn those post notifications on. You don't want to miss a video. If you really enjoy us here at the Moneyline, share the video as well. We're live every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You can also follow the Moneyline's new exclusive IG page, the Moneyline Bet, on Instagram. Got it linked in the description, so definitely check it out. Mike, it's main event time. You're my guy. I want you to take the stage for us here. Give us the breakdown to start it off.
God, thank you so much. Now that I have the floor, I will give a promo for Mr. Rakic. Look, I like Jan Blachowicz, all right? I'm a fan. Did you guys know I'm half Polish? I am half Polish, all right? This
Polish
guy is
power.
representing, all right?
Let's
And
go.
I have to bet against him, man. I have to bet against him. For those of you who don't know, Jan was suffering from some health complications 2 months ago where he couldn't feel parts of his body. Don't let me, give you the details there. You guys go look that stuff up, understand it. He talked about it at the press conference. That's a pretty easy way to hear his direct quotes about it. But there was a recent health scare. It's a factor to consider. Even without the recent health scare, Jan is at the end of his career fighting a fighter who is the exact same age as me, so more towards the beginning of his career. And, I don't see Jan getting better. I do see Rakic getting better. I think Rakic is an excellent striker. And, Israel Adesanya was not able to really damage Jan Blachowicz on the feet. I think Rakic is capable of doing more damage when he kicks you, more damage when he punches you, not punts you. So Israel Adesanya, maybe the technique level is higher, but the blast your forearms when you kick somebody because you kick so damn hard part, that's what you're not getting. You're going to get a real light heavyweight in Rakic. Look, I think this thing is on the feet, and if it does go to the ground, we saw Jan have a lot of trouble off of his back. I don't think Jan's looking for takedowns in this fight. It would surprise me if he did. Jan always wants to kickbox, and if he's stuck on the feet with Rakic, I think the way Rakic knocked out Jimmy Manuwa, he's going to be trying to replicate something like that here. It's a 5-round fight, and that's actually the number one thing that makes me, consider Jan, because Jan's more experienced fighting in these championship 5-round fights. Can Rakic fight smart for 5 rounds? Is he going to gas himself out? I'm going to go out on a limb and say he will. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he will fight smart. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he will win 3 out of 5 rounds, even if we do go late. And I do think that we're going to see a Rakic 2.0 here. I don't know that we're going to get the best Jan Blachowicz. I've seen this sport a long time, guys. Notice that when champions lose, right, and they either you lose your title shot or a champion loses the belt, that next fight, when they give you a top contender like this, their record's not the best, man. A lot of times guys do lose that next fight, and I think it's no different here, man. Rakic with a great coming out party, letting his legs go because he can. Blachowicz is not going to try to catch him and go for takedowns. That really allows Rakic to open up. I think he's going to win this fight. Let's give Jan the respect. I'll say decision. He could knock him out.
I'm with you on the decision side. I'm on Rakic too. What I feel like is another factor is I don't see Jan with the wrestling threat against Rakic. Whereas with Adesanya, Jan landed a couple takedowns and was able to slow the pace, control, and reset the stand-up, eliminate that striking rhythm that Adesanya was starting to get into. I mean, he had good moments in that fight. Rakic has shown a lot of patience, and let's note this. His recent fights have all been at the Apex. This is another one at the Apex. It seems like he calms himself down without the big crowd there. If this was a fight in, a big spot on a main card, I'd be like, listen, there's a chance Blachowicz, catches a very overzealous Rakic. We've seen Rakic overzealous in the past. Now, you look back, even his fight against Volkan Oezdemir, I know he lost, but the leg was mangled and destroyed. I never saw even an ounce of hurt on the face of Rakic. This guy is made of steel. When I see a guy like that, I'm like, okay, he can take a beating. There's no questions around the chin. His only loss is a competitive split decision against a good Volkan Oezdemir as well. That was when Volkan was really on his game, still was riding the momentum, even though he had lost a couple, still riding high off the streak that he had. Now it's not the same with Volkan Oezdemir. I think Rakic is a problem here for Jan Blachowicz. Distance management is going to be a big key. I think Jan's going to have a really hard time just getting into boxing range, and if he can land one, I don't see him putting Rakic down. It would take a couple, and I don't think Rakic allows that to happen. Rakic is a pretty good counter puncher too. If you're going to sit in the pocket, he's going to lug back and he's going to touch you. Now, I think he's the more explosive guy. He closes distance better. I also feel like physical strength, as far as the grappling, I'm leaning at Rakic. Is he going to take Jan Blachowicz down? If he does, I'm going to call it. It's going to be off catching kicks. Blachowicz really attacked the body of Dominic Reyes to perfection in their fight. But I see Rakic with the ability to catch those kicks better. I mean, even when he was fighting against Volkan, he's catching low kicks. Now, if Jan's going to go a bit higher, those body kicks, I see Rakic with catches. I see him with takedowns. If he's on top, he's not going to be overzealous. Granted, he talked about wanting a finish. I think when he gets in there, he's going to do the best method to get him the desired result, which is the victory on Saturday night. I think Aleksandar Rakic win. I'm going to go with you on a decision. If Błachowicz has a chance here, it will be if he can do some damage to the kicks, slow Rakic down, 3, 4, and 5, there's a puncher's chance there. But for me, as you said, bro, these guys, they fight for the belt, they lose, especially Jan Blachowicz, not a young guy in the game at this point, and he didn't look good against Glover. Health concerns as well. Rakic is the pick here. Rakic for both of us, man. I'm glad that we're on the same.
Absolutely. I think this is the moment where Rakic is going to be able to insert himself into that title picture. Yuri Prohaska, obviously right there, looking at Glover Teixeira. I think, Rakic and maybe even Ian Cutelaba. Now we're finally seeing a heating up of the UFC 205 division. And holy shit, have we needed a heating up of the UFC 205 division. So I definitely believe that this is a card that is going to give birth to that fire, because that's what we need, man. Can't see another path for Jan to win. Yeah. Our MMA master right there was bringing up earlier, if Błachowicz pressures Rakic and doesn't give him space for leg kicks. Yes, it's the smaller cage, so that does favor somebody who's moving forward, because you're able to cut the person off a little bit easier, right? So I could see the hands of Jan landing a little bit. I could see this being a good fight, absolutely. I just think you're looking at a changing of the guard at this point, and if Jan's losing to 42-year-old Glover Teixeira, I don't think him moving to these faster, hungrier, younger fighters is going to bring him more success.
Yeah, man. I'm going to be with you as well, man. I think we're on the same side. We got a little disagreement from my guy, Nas Blends. Why is everyone favoring Rakic for no reason?
No reason.
We got some good reasons, I think. I think we got good reasons, man.
His last 2 wins are Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos, 2 guys who arguably beat John Jones. I mean, those.
Besides, not Anthony Smith, though. Anthony Smith. I mean, could have taken the DQ, but he didn't have.
He could have taken the DQ, exactly.
Yeah, so I guess he could have arguably beaten him, truly, right?
I mean,
said I want out.
I mean, he could have done the Aljamain Sterling route, bro.
Yeah.
Get an Oscar. I'm really hating on Aljamain now.
You
Sorry,
are.
I used that's the Henry Cejudo line. Aljamain Sterling.
God.
I can't get that out of my head, bro. AJ.
That's your boy.
He's Aljamain Sterling at this point. I can't get that out of my head. Yes, if he decided to lay on the ground after he got kneed in the head there, he would have been the champ. And you know what? It was a split decision with Thiago Santos and John.
And that
Jones.
was a toss-up, man.
And you saw Rakic pretty much control that fight. So yeah, I believe that there's some good reasons to fear Rakic.
It's all love, my brother. It's all love, bro. We'll give you the lines in a moment too.
Please.
Let's hear them too. I'll want me to pull up the line now, but I want you to
please let's get it. Go ahead. And then one more thing, to mention, is the circumstances they're coming in on. Rakic coming in off of wins, coming in off of momentum. Jan coming in off of just being dominated by, the elderly Glover Teixeira, a guy who was Chuck Liddell's training partner back when Chuck Liddell was the light heavyweight champion. You guys remember that? That was a long time ago. Glover just kicked Jan's ass not too long ago. So Jan's coming off of that adversity. He has to be able to mentally come back. Physically, he's dealing with adversity with the health problems 2 months ago. What more adversity do you want him to have, guys? He's got quite a hill to overcome here. There's a lot of questions if you're betting on Jan.
Yeah, I agree. I'm touching the side of Rakic if I'm throwing down on this one. It's -180 for Aleksandar Rakic, +175 for Jan Blachowicz. If we're looking at Rakic for the win, I think betting Rakic by decision, scary. There's 5 rounds of light heavyweights that have finishing capabilities. It's only +215 for Rakic there. I don't like it. Over a round and a half is -310. I would say it's high likelihood we go over a round and a half. Over 2.5, you get into more murky waters, but it is -165. I got a note, BetOnline has over 4.5 at +100, under 4.5, -130. I don't know. That just seems like a flip of a coin territory as we get late. There's question marks. I think Jan isn't, unable to be finished, right? If Rakic lands a good shot, he definitely could put Jan down. I'm going to go decision. Don't really love as far as the prop betting or over-unders there, besides like the over 1.5. I feel like Rakic money line would be your touch if you're looking for it. And I see him getting his hand raised and looking like a problem in the weight class. And he is a problem in the weight class for sure.
Yeah, man. I think he's right up there with Yuri Prohaska. I think he's right up there with Cutelaba and all of them. And, he'll place himself there with this victory, man. This is the timing isn't right for Jan, and the timing is perfect for Rakic. And that's how I see this fight. I see it as the emergence of Rakic as a top contender.
Agreed, bro. Super exciting fight. That
Yes,
is
it
the
is.
main event take. It's time to jump to the money line lock of the night. Final section, money line lock of the night. AJ here with my guy Mike Finch. Mike, I want you to give us the lock of the night first for the people. What do you think?
Man, I really like Tatsuro Taira. Taira, I really think that he's going to be able to dominate that fight. I like his striking. I think that he's going to be much rangier, much more dynamic on the feet versus Carlos. And I do think on the ground, it's a huge mismatch. Carlos does have submission victories, but man, that kid is looking sharp from Japan. Get on the train before everybody else, guys. This kid is going to be fighting his way all the way up into the top 5, top 6, and that's where we'll really see what he's made of. Until he gets over to that, we'll even just say top 10, until he makes it into that top 10, I think these guys are in trouble, brother. That's a favorite, which is a rarity for my lock of the night. I try to give you guys a ton of value for a lock of the night. So consider doubling it up. Mr. Torres, I think, is going to spark Camacho. I know your guy, AJ, took Camacho, so big respect. If you want to sit out from that one, you got to trust AJ too. But I think that Manuel Torres is going to tear his ass up on the feet. I think that's a mismatch, man. I think Torres has got way more power. He's way taller, way longer, way more explosive, a better finisher, and he's more durable. I do think that he's going to be on the hunt. He's got that young, confidence about him, and I think he's going to take Camacho out. Another huge mismatch. That's just the two I'm seeing where I'm like, all day, those two guys are getting the W's. For me, and again, this is not financial advice. That to me looks like free money.
Let's go. Let's go. The Finch man. I got to answer this right here. AJ starting the week off with a diehard shoey and finish it off with a solid breakdown with Finchy. You're living the dream, my brother. Hey, listen, thank you, my bro. I am living the dream. Much love to my guy Scott right here. Thank you, bro. It's been a great week, and we got great fights on Saturday. Tune into that Fight Companion. I'll be live for the whole thing. Now, I got to give my lock. I'm actually with you on Taira. I was going to pick that, so I'm going to double down with Mike Finch on Taira, but because Mike kind of gave a secondary, I got to throw the number 2. It's not a money value bet that I really love, but I'm going to say I think Katlyn Chookagian gets it done, man. I'm pretty damn confident. If I have to go trio, we throw it at maybe the side of Davey Grant, I think is another one to have in there. Tatsuro Taira is the real one, though. These are just extensions. Maybe you go Rakic, too. I think he can win the fight. I think it's a good shot that he does get it done. Like, there's definitely some value here on the card to throw down on a few favorites. But me and Mike agreeing on the lock of the night of Tatsuro for the win. Let's fucking go, my brother. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only X factor with that fight is just how does this kid perform in his UFC debut? That's all. Yeah, that's all. Because I really think if that fight was in Japan, I might put my car on it. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm confident in that kid. I don't think the odds are wide enough, and I think they'll start getting wider as people see the skill level. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, YouTube him, check him out. A lot of his fights are out there. Very impressive stuff.
Yeah, Tatsuro Taira, I'll throw the odd up for it. It is minus 235, best value around minus 250 over on Bet Online as well. Mike, let's just talk quickly about books that you like, man. What would you say is what you like? Personally, like the people know, I have a few that I fuck with. My bookie is the OG. I like betonline.ag. They're great shit. And also a lot of people high on DraftKings and whatnot. Depending on where you're at is really going to be where you're playing, man. You have a preference, Mike?
I used to do Bovada.lv, and then I had a little back and forth with their team over there trying to I forgot what I was doing, transfer money. I don't know what was going on, but they were not on top of their shit. So I have recently switched over to betonline.ag. They actually sponsor a lot of fighters and shows. They sponsor Bare Knuckle FC, which is you see them on the ropes there. So
Yeah.
I went and checked their site out, went and signed up for them. My personal favorite, betonline.ag. So big shout out to BetOnline. There you go, a little plug for them. And you can at least say this show's a fan. We're just looking for places that are reliable. When you guys go bet somewhere, don't risk your money on some no-name website, right? You want to make sure you're putting your money somewhere where you feel comfortable with it. I think betonline.ag is a good spot.
Absolutely, my brother. I'm with you in agreement. Now, Bellator this weekend coming up. Will you be at the event, Mike? You'll be there?
Oh my God, I wish. They won't fly me overseas, man. Yeah. I'm the US team. So they got our UK team over there.
Forget it's in England. What am I saying?
You would already nice. Billy Clearly, the whole team over there is going to be handling it. I'll have to watch from over here. But AJ, real quick, bro. Yeah. MVP versus Storley, fun fight.
Amazing fight. I'm super excited for it. As far as the breakdown, I dropped it on the channel. If you look at the most recent video, I got the full Bellator main card weigh-in recap show. So if you're looking for some Bellator picks, they'll be there. Me and Mike can quickly glance upon MVP and Storley. It's striker versus grappler in a common sense. It's OG, bro. OG.
Man, I think that the karate versus wrestling framework is probably what we're looking at in this fight, because Logan Storley, if you guys saw his last fight against Neiman Gracie, his striking has never looked better. His pressure was excellent. His ability to just reset and get right back into his game plan was excellent. His ability to listen to his coaches and execute. I've never seen his striking look so good. I've never seen him so focused and able to execute so well in a fight. So coming off of that performance, man, it's going to be tough for MVP to deal with it. But with that being said, MVP, much taller, much longer, much more dangerous on the feet, can kick you out of anywhere. For you guys who saw my little breakdown I posted, I said MVP's like Casper, man. He's like a ghost in that cage. You don't know where the hell he's coming from, and he is going to be able to just drop a shin on your nose out of nowhere. And that sucks when you're trying to close the distance on somebody and all of a sudden a foot is hitting you in the face. That's what it feels like getting in there with MVP, man. He is a block away from you and he could strike. So very tall, very lanky, 170 pounder, super exciting fighter. Who does not love watching MVP throw a pokeball at a knocked out opponent or some shit? That guy's crazy. All right. You're going to have fun watching it. Bellator is going down tomorrow in London. Enjoy.
Main card, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time as well. So shout out to Bellator. The breakdown is on the channel. Click on the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe and turn those post notifications on so you don't miss a video. Check out my Bellator breakdown. Give me a like there to show some love. Show me Bellator has still got some solid fans and some potential bettors, because I want to keep covering Bellator. So definitely give the love to it. Smash the likes here. Show some love to us at the Moneyline. Follow Mike Finch. Mike Finch's channel is up. Mike Finch Show, the Mike Finch Show. He's got the fucking sweet, what would we call that? A sweet sign in the back right there representing. And you had Ray Flores on, which was a cool interview, bro, to have a guy like him on. So definitely check Mike out.
Ray was able to host the McGregor Mayweather press conferences, and he's been behind the Jake Paul fights and the Triller cards and Eagle FC. He's the cage announcer. So Ray Flores is the man, guys. I got to sit down with him for an hour and a half. We talked Tyson Fury. We talked Canelo Alvarez. We talked, MMA as well. Vitor Belfort maybe fighting Jake Paul. Like, we went into everything. So check that out, guys. It is youtube.com/Mike Finch. You guys will find the Mike Finch Show. And of course, every Thursday, me and AJ breaking it down. Enjoy it. These are going to be some fun fights. Super excited for this one. And we'll come back next week and you guys can applaud what we got right. And as I see in the comments, roast us when we get something wrong. We love it.
Nothing wrong with a little roasting, man. It has to happen. The Finch man is not going to throw you the pick, my brother, but he gave you the technical breakdown. For me, check out the Bellator breakdown. You'll get the picks. You get the picks from me for Bellator.
AJ's got you for the picks. I got you for a little bit of hype and excitement. Guys, I work for Bellator. I don't want MVP kicking me in the face, so I can't be picking against him. You know what I'm saying?
Totally cool. Totally cool. Much love, my people. I hope you enjoyed another episode of The Money Line. Check us out every Thursday right here at the MMA Experts channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Much love. And we will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody. And you guys have a fantastic weekend as well.